to the death till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me, rip the soul out of Pharisee. You live again, get them dividends, or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit, I told you kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you, cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupons for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper been as proper since the teeny bopper, but now I'm growing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitters and writers, but when the heat's on, none of them can get to the fire. One ran with me, and I had them niggas spin like a tire. But down the D, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P.K. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me.
Cause I'm black, she won't fuck me cause I'm black. Her dad don't like me cause I'm black, but she Hispanic so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jude, so I'm black. I can't fight the cops and the ops. Stolen Glocks, heavy on the block. While a crack tucked in the sock. Instead help the ones I love. We was on the block for the grub. If he from my side, then it's love. Wanted big knots, busting out the jeans, but we was hurting all the fiends. Without that crack, he look just like me. Dirty nigga from the concrete, but the white man dealt his hand. So we eating up the trash can. People ride by, don't extend a hand, cause to them, this an average black man. So for him, that's why I gotta make it. I ain't talking rap. Before the slave ships, I'm one of a kind. Y'all can't take it. I can never leave my spot vacant, cause I'm black. I see crowns and I take it, cause I'm black. I never been in no spaceship, but I know a UFO when I see it. I know that it's gonna come when I need it. I put faith in God more than Bible reading. Go, I don't play that shit. Address him when you see him. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. Her dad don't like me cause I'm black, but she Hispanic so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jude, so I'm black. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. Her dad don't like me cause I'm black, but she Hispanic so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jude, so I'm black. Learn to flip pennies cause I'm black. Know about semis cause I'm black. Yeah, in the hood we was strapped 10 toes down, we wear sacks. Substitute Israelite with black, and you gotta guess where I'm at. I be with the priest chillin' hard, right on Malcolm X Boulevard. To you niggas, to me the stars. Everything about my life is hard, but I'll never fold, play my cards. You want beef? What's the cause? Watch your mouth, I hit hard. Back up for you need gauze. Everything you say mad pause. Every move I make is within them laws, and I've been the boss cause it's beneficial. Ask the enemy, I've been official. If not for weed, I've been the official. Homie, I understand why you smoke. Been depressed since slave boats, but the Bible is the cheat code. Far as blunts don't need those. Brotherhood is life's cheat code. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. Her dad don't like me cause I'm black, but she Hispanic so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jude, so I'm black. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. Her dad don't like me cause I'm black, but she Hispanic so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jude, so I'm black. I don't gotta buy J's cause I'm black. I don't play 2K just cause I'm black. Fought my whole life cause I'm black, but I left his eye blue and black. Ain't got a trap cause I'm black. Ain't got not one face tat. but I'm still getting profiled, cause I fit these crackers' profile. Scruffy beard with the dark skin, baggy sweats with the butter Timbs, so they know they can't butter him, so they rather jail sound Muslim him. If you touching him, and you comfort him, cause I'm a law keeper, a peace bringer, no tranquility, a peace bringer. Deuce in the street sweeper, covers flip, I be spicing shit, but gunned out with die in the icy wrist, that shoulder my chest ain't for blocking shit. Touch me, I'm on when you blocking shit, cause I'm black, you think I gotta cock the fifth? Well, that's a stereotype, that's accurate, cause crackers laying niggas in these cold streets and then telling my brother he got a beat for me. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black, ops wanna drill me cause I'm black, can't get no job cause I'm black, she wanna fuck me cause I'm black, her dad don't like me cause I'm black, but she Hispanic so she black, ain't got no time for none.
Shalom, we have the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Pay your tithes, support this truth, share the content. Today's topic is, who is Satan and who is Lucifer according to the Bible? And I know a lot of Christianites is going to be mad at this. Right. You know, the Hebrew Christianites, they're going to be mad about this one right here because they know they fight against all the way to the high hills, you know. They fight against this. You see it on Facebook all the time. People battling for who the devil is and battling who Esau is. They fighting harder to disprove the pink oppressor as being the devil than what they are fighting for knowing that they're Israelite. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's awfully funny because also they don't know who no other nation is up on the face of the earth, but somehow they just know that the pink oppressor is not Esau. God. You ever notice that? Just ask them who the Chinese are. Ask them who the Japanese are, the Arabs are, and all of that. So if they ain't believe that the pink oppressor is Esau, they damn sure ain't gonna believe that he's Satan and Lucifer. They damn sure ain't gonna believe that. Oh, now they start foaming at the mouth themselves. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's go to Revelations chapter 12 and verse 12.
God. Revelation.
Anybody know what that means? Heavens. It's telling the heavens to rejoice. And that's what it's saying. Rejoice ye heavens. Give everybody a clue. Go ahead.
I was going to say maybe in this context, different levels of living, different positions of life on earth.
No, it's way more simple than that. It's more simple than that. Let me give y'all a clue. When COVID-19 hit, how did the I.S.U.P.K feel about that? Go ahead.
We was cool with it. I mean, we rejoiced.
Yes, because we seen this kingdom coming down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We were so happy about it, you know what I'm saying? Because we see this kingdom that's always had its foot in our behind finally start to come down. So read that scripture again.
Us.
Yeah.
Because we are a kingdom.
Right.
The kingdom is within you.
Right. We the heavens that is telling them to rejoice right here. In times when the economic collapse and all of that, we supposed to be getting happy. We supposed to be doing the direct opposite of what everybody else is doing. That's how you know who the heavens is. Everybody else is sad, terrified, and building bigger masks for their face. You know what I'm saying? To step out in COVID. You know, they paranoid as hell. You know, nation, of course, against nation, turning on one another. While they turning on one another, what are we supposed to be doing the direct opposite of that? We supposed to be bonding one to another. Right. Doing the same thing. We supposed to be joined at the hip. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Now that shows who the heavens are. The heavens is us. Because we are the ones that can rejoice in this time. We tired of getting our behinds kicked in this kingdom right here. We tired of it. We sick of it. What did we talk about? The one scripture we talk about.
What's the preface?
To put a mark upon the heads of them that sigh and cry. The pink oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Damn right.
And pink is also a derivative of red. Did I use the right word? Derivative?
Kind.
Okay. I just want to make sure, I ain't got a hell of a vernacular like that, I just want to make sure I use the word right. Go ahead.
I got it. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And Yahweh said unto them, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
And what is that mark? Does anybody know? Go ahead.
The mark of the beast.
No, that's not the mark of the beast. That's the seal of the Lord.
So I misunderstood that. I did that one.
Yeah, the Most High got his own mark. He got his own seal for his own people, right? And that's the heavens that he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's the heavens that he said that he gave the order to rejoice. That's why he said he's putting it in their forehead, because the forehead has to do with your mind. And what's being sealed inside the minds of those men that the Most High is talking about in this scripture is what?
Allah.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. That's what they mind. That's why they crying for the abomination. If you ain't got the law, you don't know what the hell abomination is. Right? That's what the mark. They know what abominations are. That's making them damn sick. You know what I'm saying? It said for the men that sigh and cry. When you sigh and cry about the abominations, you got people that know what abominations are, but at the same time, they ain't trying to sigh and cry. Go ahead.
So, Slacky, sir, so is that talking about, so like how Osborne said, putting the law.
To get the people back to the way that the Lord meant for us to have in the first place.
Wow.
And these men are sick and they're hated for sighing, just like us in the Israelite School, Universal and Practical Knowledge right now.
Right.
Go ahead.
That's like that was the end of that verse.
Okay. Now let's go back to Revelation 12 and 12.
Okay. Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens.
Now we know what the heavens is. Now we know. And now it's just clearing that thing up. Go ahead.
And ye that dwell in them.
Right.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Who's the inhabitants of the earth?
And of the sea.
Who the inhabitants of the earth?
Oh, select.
Revelation is pretty difficult, so go ahead.
Like the civilians, like everybody else that's in the world.
Yeah, okay, read that part again, because it also said the inhabitants of the sea. Also,
Woe to,
go ahead.
select. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
Right. The sea also have to do with people whose mind is on business, importing, exporting. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of manifold. Importing, exporting, people that are in. Go ahead.
So this wouldn't be involving creatures. This is just talking about men.
This is talking about people, right?
Okay.
And creatures too. Animals are gonna be getting destroyed also.
Right.
Trees, plants, every damn thing. But it's saying pretty much woe to the inhabitants of the earth. It's specifically talking about men that are doing wickedly. The inhabitants of the earth is not really discerning the time of when the Most High's kingdom is coming.
Right.
They the inhabitants of the earth. They're earthly. They're sensual. They're not really caring much about the stuff that we talk about when we camp or in classes. Right. They're not really caring much about that. They care about their little lives, their little families, their little money, their job, and go ahead when we talk about the inhabitants of the sea.
Say that one time.
The inhabitants of the sea. We talk about the inhabitants of the sea.
Right.
Go and read that part. The inhabitants of the sea.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
Like I was saying, where do you get all your trade? Big businessmen. They rely upon the sea. You know what I'm saying? They eat off the sea. Just like during the time of the Apostle Paul wrote his letters.
Right.
You have places like Corinth and Thessalonica and all of that. You know, certain places got a large portion of their money from the sea, just like America does today. Got a large portion importing and exporting big old cargo ships coming in, you know, full of this and full of that. Business owners, you sell say you're a high up CEO of damn Magnavox or something. What you got to depend on? You got to depend on the sea to bring it to you. You're a drug dealer, what you got to depend on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to depend on the sea also because that's how they shipping the vast majority of the drugs. The seaport get cut off. Now comes a drought, and you ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, woe unto the inhabitants of the sea, meaning destruction to the inhabitants of the sea. The Most High can certainly mess up that business. You know what I'm saying? Really start to hurt that business. The sea business is only really held together by what they call the Uniform Commercial Code. That's the reason why.
As far as trading, right?
Yes. Yes, the Uniform Commercial Code. You know what the Uniform Commercial Code does? The Uniform Commercial Code it's like an unspoken law. Like, say for instance, we here in Minnesota, we order something that comes from, and we done sent the money. We order something that comes from Asia, damn China, Thailand, somewhere, anywhere in the world, right? They have to deliver.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They have to deliver it.
Right.
Let's see. They even drugs.
Right.
If you pay somebody for drugs got barcodes on them.
Yeah, right.
It's serious. Dope got that tripped me out first time I saw that. You know, dope came in a laminated wrapping and had a barcode on it, just like the stuff you bring up at the store. You know, they have to deliver. If you send them the money, they have to deliver. Regardless of how it is, I mean, even if delivery is hard, difficult, or whatever the damn case is, it don't matter. It has to be delivered. That's one of the reasons why when they were shipping cocaine from like Cuba over here, you know, to like Miami, over to like Miami and all of that, sometimes they would drop it right out of the sky. However, bricks they ordered, they would drop it right out of the sky. Boom! It was a movie where it was a movie and a little documentary thing where the dope hit the church. And went straight through the roof. Yes, sir. Kilos, bricks of cocaine. While the pastors are preaching. Dope went boom. Well, that same church was known for having a drug ring, a big, huge drug ring, and they dropped the dope right on the church.
Of course it did.
But, you know, so if it says, woe unto the inhabitants of the sea, man, that means something can really go wrong on that sea where people stop trusting one another to do trade. And you stop doing trade, you choke the whole earth. It's like, you know, like if your blood was to stop going through your organs. You know what I'm saying? Your body died. So if the trade and everything stops going through the earth, and people can't trust one another and stuff like that, it can really shut things down overnight.
Right.
Real talk. It can shut things down overnight. Just like, you know, in ancient times, think about it, how many enemies we done had, right? Then you got to ask yourself the question. When we were doing trade with all these different nations that hated our guts and wanted us dead, why didn't they put poison in the flour? You see what I'm saying? Why didn't they poison the flour? Because we was ordering flour, we was ordering all kinds of stuff, you know, coming from all of these nations. Why didn't they poison any of that stuff? Any of the food items? You know what I'm saying? Because they would have been breaking that code. Now no one would be able to trust one another.
Right, absolutely.
So they couldn't do that. If we had a war with the Ammonites and we stomped the Ammonites out and they brought gifts, they better not poison any of those gifts. Because anybody else find out about that, and they'd be like, hold on, wait a minute. Because they can foresee a war down the future with them dealing with the Ammonites themselves. And the Ammonites would be squeezed right out of the den. You know, all the nations will come up against it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of them would, because that's something that the whole globe is in agreement not to play about. And that's what messed up. What they did with Haiti, they cut Haiti out of Uniform Commercial Code, not for something that they did wrong, but because Haiti went against the world when they whooped Napoleon right on the island of Haiti. They put a stranglehold on importing and exporting because you need that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You need importing, and Haiti had a bunch of gold. Think about how the world went into one spirit to cut them out. That's crazy. I mean, they had no allies at all. This is how bad the world hates us specifically. And that's something like that. I don't think that's ever happened to any race of people on the face of the planet. Detroit, America did it with Castro and a few other countries that were, you know, but Castro still had the whole communist side supplying him. He was getting all his goods. He said, to hell with America. To hell with, you know what I'm saying? And he did to hell with all the other European countries. And he started dealing with Russia, China, and all of their allies. And they were the ones shipping things. You know? So that inhabitant of the sea, that's a beast right there. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's go to Revelations 20 and no, we got more to go. Yeah, okay.
That's why I had a question. Yeah, that's my point.
The hair fall out. Y'all remember that? Some type of powder or something. They got that raw. They try to put some type of powder in his shoe.
Like the chemicals travel in the body.
Yeah. And then you sweat and all of that because you're already in a hot place anyway, and your beard's gonna sweat, and that chemical come out your beard. And well, this is what they're doing to another devil. Castro's the devil. You know. And look how dirty they got with another devil. They didn't want to play ball with them. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm glad you said that, because some people say that he's a devil, some people say that he's a brother.
No, he's not a brother.
Yeah.
His people were wealthy sugar plantation owners.
There you go.
That's his people owned plantation. Dale was born in wealth. You know, he was born in a wealthy. They were, you know, landowners and sugar plantation owners and all of that. What he did was he was actually the son of, and his mom wasn't technically his dad's wife, according to Esau. So that's why he was treated a little different, you know. But what he did, that caused him to go, you know, kind of rogue. He was educated in America. You know, there ain't no nigga really living this type of life. You know, he had enough money and everything. You know how the hippies and stuff was doing? Right. They would just hop on a bike or something and just go travel and all of that. That's what he started out doing. You know, back when he was a real young man. That's what he started out doing. And he was just seeing how different people live and stuff like that. And he went to school in America, got educated in America, you know, went to Bolivia and all of that. That's how he met up with Che Guevara and all of them, and they started and he led the coup against Batista, who was the president of Cuba at that time. Them two went to war together. Batista.
Yeah, Batista.
Yeah, they went to war with each other, and America started funding both of them. Because as long as they thought Batista was going to win, they was backing Batista, and they was giving Batista money. But when Castro started to eventually get the better of, because he went up in the mountains for a long time, and this is where Batista messed up, because they ain't going in the mountains and white Castro in the mountains. They went and built the forces back together, and they came away and got in again. You know, but at that time, you know what I'm saying, they started to get out on Batista, and America started financing Castro. And Castro played it so smooth. He played it so smooth. He came to America, was doing conferences. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just like, they had a hell of an ally, because you know what they was trying to do down there? They turned Cuba into Las Vegas. And all of these mafia people were down there just getting filthy rich off the casinos, prostitution, and every damn thing that they do, you know, in Vegas and all of them places. They were doing that down in Cuba, you know. But when Castro got that power, he ran all of it. And not only that, he took all the slave money and the slave wealth and land from his family and seized all of it. You know what I'm saying? And took America's money. He played a hell of a move over there. I see a documentary today. I just bust out laughing. I got to say, I got a measure of respect for that devil. You know what I'm saying? You know, the move he made was cold. He took all of that American financing, you know what I'm saying, paid his soldiers and made sure they was doing good, you know, and totally turned on America. And then he sat there and ran all of them mafia people. He seized all the assets, all the money, you know what I'm saying, everything they had, he ran them out overnight. And guess who else he ran out of there? There's another clap-up moment. The Jewish man.
Hey.
He made sure he got that Malachite up out of there quick and established his own kingdom there. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. He made some cold moves. And then what did he do? He aligned himself with Russia and China and all of them. You know, even Russia tried to play him at one point. He pulled a hell of a move on them. Next thing you know, they want a peace, you know what I'm saying? And they start sending him a few $1 billion just to keep relations good again.
So yeah, they pretty much funded him. For time. And my thing is, you know, the second war went over the whole Iran and Contra scandal. You see what I'm saying? He went over all of that, and you know, like years ago, I didn't understand what I was listening to as far as class, but then he brought it full circle towards the end why everything was so important as far as war on drugs. Because I guess it's like pretty much 2 or 3 different things that was happening that were major in the world at that time. And Castro was one of them. The war on drugs, and the war on drugs was pretty much part of the Iran Contra scandal. Because I believe people that was going into Iran was funded by America. Am I correct? And that's how it's tied in. Like just like you know, a lot of people should know this by today that ISIS is funded by America. You see what I'm saying? So you know, when we full circle, it makes sense. And I heard the name Castro 1,001 times, but never really looked into who he was until I started a class maybe 4 years ago. And it's still on YouTube too. I mean, to this day.
You know, Castro, he plays, and then think about it, look how long his reign was.
For a long time,
he started reigning in the 50s.
Absolutely,
he started reigning, that's when he took over with everything in the 50s. You know, the dude made some hell of a smart moves. I mean, you know, this dude, I'm thinking, there used to be a mystery going on like that, you know, on this little ass island, and he just, you know what I'm saying? You know, he ain't sucker to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I was sort of wondering how is he doing that. But did you think where he's placed at is only 95 miles off the shore of Miami? So the Russians, he knows the beef between America and Russia. The Russians are going to need a place to place their missiles.
That's right.
And he controls there. Because if they try to place the missiles without his consent, he can go to war, go straight to war. And you know he got all of them loyal Manassites down there. You know what I'm saying? Them loyal Manassites down there, you know, will get it in for real. You know? And another hardcore with about 10 black dudes.
I never seen that.
It was crazy. He started with about 10 black dudes. I'm talking about real dark-skinned niggas that look like Judites. They was Manassites. He surrounded himself with that. You know, rise up. You know what I'm saying? They like what the damn Gestapo was to Nazi Germany. You know, he set his stuff up pretty nicely. Okay, you go.
Go. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
Wait a minute. A big old dude with horns is coming down out of the sky, angry, swinging a pitchfork. Does it say anything like that?
Nah.
They don't say nothing like that. One big devil come down, you know what I'm saying? The Christians, they can't even begin to even try to break this down. The Christian pastors, they can't even, and you know what? It should make them feel like dirt. I mean, keeping it all the way real, if you claim that you are, because a lot of them claim to be biblical scholars.
But you're not.
Well, yeah, they're nowhere near that.
Yeah.
You know, they should be learning from us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go here.
Having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Let's look at this from a micro perspective. Donald Trump, he knows that he has a short time in office, right?
Right.
Not saying Donald Trump is the devil, because this is talking about his whole race of people, not him particularly. That's one thing Christianity tries to teach you too. You go and you're looking at the scriptures when they say amen, talking about one dude, you know. But he wants to kill those 4 brothers and look like a Hispanic sister. Y'all know about that? Yes.
You said Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, right. He wants to have them all executed, 5 Israelites executed before he gets out of office. Now, he's still in right now. He ain't got nothing but like a month to go. Yeah, till January 20th.
Okay.
So he's still in there, and you know, he wants to go out with a bang.
Right.
You know, he wants to execute 5 Israelites. Go ahead.
Did you hear that they're trying to give him like some type of party or something before he leaves?
I bet you what type of party you think that's going to be? It's going to be a bloodbath.
Right.
Remember what his sons did as soon as he actually became president? They showed his sons. You thought Saddam Hussein's sons was bad. Remember Uday and Hussein? Donald Trump's sons. These dudes are running around killing every damn animal they can think of, taking all types of pictures with them and all of that. Giving you a symbol of what they were going to do so people don't know who the hell the devil is. And he shows it, he puts it right in our face. And right now, they're not caring. You know what? What are these fake Israelite groups going to do when the white man starts to come out on a large scale and say, I know we the Edomites. So? What? And then next thing you know, they was like, no, man, y'all ain't Esau, man. Y'all ain't Esau. That's how they gonna be. Y'all ain't Esau, man. No, man. He loves you. You're Japheth. We should dwell in the tents together.
Right.
They're gonna murder your ass right there. Just like what he's doing today. You know what I'm saying? If you can't walk the streets with this piece of puke, maybe you think you're gonna be in a tent with him. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That was the end of that, sir.
Okay. Now, it brings it back to what it said, the devil will come down to you have a great wrath.
Come.
More on that.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
The devil. Not talking about some big dude with horns. You know, it's not talking about that.
Right.
Go ahead.
They even describe the devil as some big red dude with
Right.
a pitchfork.
Now, they got the red part right, but
Red and he was out of one.
right, I want right. Right.
And I was going to actually say the same thing that the sister said. And the pitchfork. Not that that's really necessarily symbolic of anything too specific, but we know how that hillbilly asses look.
Right. You know, with that, you know, it's actually that thing was modeled after them. What their spirit looked like, you know what I'm saying? What they look like spiritually.
Man, Salakia. I ain't done too much personal research on this myself, but the only cases of humans that I've ever seen that were born with that extended tail were Edomites.
Right, I seen that too. I seen that before too. It's like an extension to their spine and they stick out of the tail. But here's the funny thing about it. They used to sit there and say that we grew tails.
Right.
They used to say that about us. They used to say that we grew tails. They the ones with the damn tail. And they can even wiggle them. Just like a tail. Remember the movie, what was it?
SHALAM.
Yeah, he had his tail, he would wiggle it. That's real. That's a real condition. Okay, do it.
Having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
And when it said, talks about him coming down to us, all the stuff that had him so lofty is now coming down. You know what I'm saying? All of his enterprises, you know, all of his, you know, all of his powers, his wealth, all of that. And what does he do once that happens and he loses his position? Then he's gonna show you who he really is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's gonna show you exactly who he really is. Because see, he can play it. The white man can play it nice right now. Well, look at downtown St. Paul here. He can play it so nice right now because the kingdom, they're not feeling the real crunch yet.
Right.
Come in, who are? He said, burnt right. It's real close to it. Like, give just a little more.
The enmity between his seed and her seed, the two nations that were wrestling.
It's something like that. It's something like that, but
it's like he has a question one more time.
Okay, what is the spiritual reason why every time something goes wrong with America, they blame us?
It sounds like he has more fruits of the town.
Because for one thing,
I know.
they believe that they're being punished by our God. You know what I'm saying? That they, inside their spirit, they know. That's why they have that natural fear of us too. Even when we're in a poor estate, and they got their foot crushed on our necks, and we got some malices. We all we done made ourselves, you know, just like these super servants, beyond their belief. Nobody ever seen a back of slaves like us.
Right.
The world has never seen a back of slaves like us. That is so obedient and so loving of their master and everything, and they still afraid of you. Good.
It's like based on you saying that, I feel like you're talking about it's somewhere in the first 5 books of Moses, either Deuteronomy or Exodus, where it says let's, you know, it's probably in the Apocrypha too, where it talks about you know, it was a heathen. It was two heathens. I guess like the second commandment was talking to the first commandment, said you know, let's you know, let's not deal with them right now because they're serving their God. But once they're not serving their God, let's overthrow them.
There we go.
Also, too, I want to say in the story of Exodus where it says, let's deal with them wisely because they wax in number or wax something.
Let's deal with them wisely unless they join into our enemies and fight against us. You talk about in Exodus?
Yeah. Or they wax in number or something like that.
Oh, yeah. It says that you talk about when they were grieved by the children of Israel because they tried to do everything they could to abort the children, especially the males.
failed.
Yeah.
So
Failed
I'm
because,
talking about those men too.
yeah, right. Yeah. These are reasons why they're afraid. Productive war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He did the Most High went to war with them that way first. And you got wars on all types of economic war, reproductive war,
right,
environmental warfare.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got all different types of facets of war out of war. Just ain't somebody just going up with a sword or gun and murdering each other. You know, that's not, you know, it.
Right.
You got we've been getting our asses kicked in all kind of wars right now without a shot being fired or a blow being thrown or any of that. Good.
Spiritual warfare.
Yes.
Go all the way back to Ephesians.
Right. Principalities. Yeah. And they up there in them high places making decisions. You know what I'm saying? That's going to affect our lives.
Right.
Sitting on the United Nations. Spiritual wickedness in high places.
NATO.
Yeah, NATO. Yeah, that's another one. Right. NATO. And they have all the races out there doing it. And then for all of it, I just mentioned that, for all of these people that run around thinking that we Africans, they have an African Union. Haiti wanted to join the African Union a few years ago, and they said no. What'd that tell you? They said no. Straight up. They never rejected any other African nation ever. It don't matter how dirt poor they are over there. They got to have a seat up on the African United Nations.
Right.
They got to have a seat on that, regardless of how. You can think of the poorest place in Africa ever, with high crime and people starving and eating mud and making mud huts. They got to have a seat.
Right.
But they said no to Haiti. Right. So all of these African, Pan-African Negroes or whatever the hell you want to call them. Yeah, Egyptologists. Yeah, African Israelite dudes. All of that. That's something to consider right there.
Right.
All right. Let's go to Revelations 20 and 2.
God. Revelations chapter 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
Well, what does that mean? Good.
I mean, even Christians know where the serpent story comes from back in Genesis. The serpent in the Garden of Eden.
I'm looking for something that has to do more with Christ when he's going to subdue the white man.
It's like, you must be talking about Revelations.
Right. 20 and 2. Well, now notice it said he laid hold on the dragon, right? To lay hold means you bound it.
Okay, kind of like that.
Some of Revelations, I just don't remember what it says exactly.
Kind of slack. I thought you was asking more about, maybe I'm jumping the gun on the relationship between the dragon and the serpent.
No, what it is,
right.
That proved it was a serpent first and grew into a powerful dragon. Right? Esau was a serpent, said at first, until he got power with Greece. He became a dragon and started to grow more and more and more. But then, and nobody could beat them, right? Can anyone beat them today? Right. So Christ, yes, no one can beat them today. Right. So who has to lay hold on the dragon? Christ has to lay hold on the dragon. Right. And when he laid hold on him, stopping him from doing the things that it is that he wants to do. He wants to oppress us, wants to crush us, wants to kill us. Right? Dragon then. What happened to the dragon during that time? You got to look at the dark ages.
He was bound for 1,000 years.
Yeah, he was bound up in the caves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That became his prison.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, just like they had people in Alcatraz on the rock. You know what I'm saying? Alcatraz was nothing but a big old rock that was a prison.
That's the same thing with that's the same thing with Great Depression.
Well, the Depression, they was able to come back from that pretty quick. The Depression actually happened by the Jewish banksters, because people were sending margin loans out to people. That's why they called it the Roaring '20s. When all white America was having a great time, we was already thriving on our own. But they was having a great time doing the dancing and swing dancing, and you see the little clips and all of that. And they had, but with these margin loans, they could recall those loans in 72 hours. So they let them stack up debt for years.
In the Dark Ages, what time frame again?
The Dark Ages was right after it started right after the Apostles. You know, the Apostles, their thing, because that's what they were doing. The Apostles, the power that the Lord put on the Apostles, started to tear Rome down.
So like if I may, I gotta sit my tongue. Is that essentially around the time of the Byzantine Empire?
Yes, you talk about during the time where the black dude, St. Nicholas, was running things in front. Yeah, same time. The only thing, because it didn't just fall immediately. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was a progressional thing. Mm-hmm. And then just like their ascending out of the bottomless pit was also a progressional thing too. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just like happen all at once.
Right.
But as they started, the power started to be weaker and weaker and weaker. Right. We came up and we were ruling and running things. Because hell, they had to have somebody to teach them something as simple as take a bath. You know what I'm saying? They were running around with diseases, and a lot of these diseases were caused by things, you know what I'm saying, like simple stuff. Like, you know, they had scurvy real bad. The cure to scurvy is vitamin C. Who had that knowledge? We had all that knowledge. You know, that's the reason why people were sick. You know, the slave masters and stuff was sick here in America. The slave come up with some concoction and the devil take it. Next thing you know, he's back to health. You know, we had that type of knowledge. You know, crazy, insane stuff like back in the day, how they used to bury people. You know, they would bring the dead to the house before the funeral and everything. Right. You know, what they would do something like take a cup of salt and put it on the chest of the dead person to keep flies away. You know, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the hell? You know, I had to think, like, how the hell do they have knowledge like that? That's crazy. Go ahead.
I think nowadays it's a bomb fluid. You see what I'm saying? Keep the body, you know, preserved for a while until they put the body in the ground.
Yeah, it is. But we had a way better embalming technique that Joseph talked to the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? Like the mummies and all of that, you know, and all of that. Because what they would do is, as a matter of fact, Jacob's body was preserved 70 days. No freezer. No freezer. His body was preserved 70 days before they buried Jacob.
And then it's like they went back to grab him, his body, and they buried him in the promised land.
I think Jacob was buried.
I think he's buried in Egypt, but then they came and dug up his body and buried him somewhere else. Because
he took like prominent men and brought them back to Jerusalem, just like Joseph.
It wasn't Joshua, right? No.
Well, during the time of Joshua, it was during the time of Joshua. They carried the body of Joseph with them with them.
Okay. Joseph was gone at the time.
Right. Because Joseph had been, long dead by that time. And Joshua, which was one of his descendants, was, of course, highly responsible for moving his body into the promised land, into the land of Canaan. Okay, you read the scripture again?
Okay. Revelation chapter 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
So he laid hold on the dragon. He's a dragon now, though. You know what I'm saying? His powers done grew. Because that's what the dragon, you know, he grows into a huge fire-breathing dragon, right? Just like America, just like Esau has dropped bombs of fire on everybody up on the earth.
Right.
And he's red. And red is the color of sin. Also, you know, these people who try to say, oh, King David was red. He was brilliant. You don't never see red. Red in the Bible means something good. You know what I'm saying? The only time that it meant something good was there was some red on the tabernacle. As far as what the material it took to make it. That's the only time you see red spoken of in a good light. Because remember what it said, though thy sin is crimson. Crimson is red. It said, so that shall they be white as snow. You know, red is the color of blood. And the dragon is red because the dragon has shed much blood. And the people of the dragon have that sign of the blood showing through their skin, showing their sin as a nation.
Right.
You know? Right. That's the mark right there. That's the mark of Cain. Right. That's the mark of Cain. And when Esau came out red, Satan saw him like, yeah, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? That's my nigga right there. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'm going to use right there. Because the Most High had Jacob. You know what I'm saying? The Most High had Jacob. Jacob embodied Christ. You know, he was like a physical, you know, representative of God and Christ at this time. You see what I'm saying? And so were his sons. Esau was the representative of Satan.
Right.
And so was his son. You know, that's how it goes. Most High chose one, Satan chose one. And the two are clashing heads to this day. Remember the vision, the dream that Mordecai had? He said that, you know, that he had a dream. There was two dragons fighting. He said one dragon was Mordecai and the other one was Haman. Anybody remember that? You remember that, Amon?
I have to look at that.
Think about it for a second. You know, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that follows. All of that stuff, you know, goes together. So this is proof of who the red dragon actually is. You know? And the red dragon wasn't, the both dragons wasn't Haman and Mordecai by themselves. You know what I'm saying? It was the nation of people because Mordecai was pretty much the king of Israel at that time. Pretty much. And Haman, king of the Amalekites. Now think about it. And Mordecai had his nation. And the two were certainly bumping heads. And Mordecai's dragon kicked the ass of Esau's dragon every time. You know what I'm saying? Just remember because Haman sent out that money to all the 127 provinces to get rid of us regardless of where we was at. That is a Jewish tactic. That's stuff that they still do right now, eh? Don't they control the television that pushes the propaganda against us and make the whole world hate us? What did Haman do? It wasn't no TV back then. So what did he do? He sent out letters pushing propaganda, the same schemes that they do now and did back then. They're just doing it with more technology now. You know, he was given, you know, and look how manipulative he was, because he was given, you know, the second in command, and he had the keys to the king's treasury to get out. How much was that? 10,000 talents of silver. You know how much money that is in today's world?
Talents is also shekels, right?
No, talents are actually somewhere like 100 shekels a piece. They're like somewhere like a pound.
Okay, you said
you could buy a city. You could buy a city with one.
It's 10,000, right?
Right.
10,000 talents.
Right. Remember Christ when he gave the parable of the person with the talents, and he didn't get, what did he give them in return for that? The one that had the 10 talents, he made him rule over 10 cities. And the one that had the 5 that multiplied them, he gave him 5 cities.
Yeah.
You could buy a city for 1 talent. Imagine how many you talking about.
$8 billion.
Good night. 3.48 billion.
Yeah, it's as of 2015.
That's a lot of money there.
That's a lot of money.
And he was distributing that money out. And he probably even went into his own personal pocket because he had a lot of money himself. He probably took up collection from Macedonia and all of that because he was, born rich. His family was rich and all of that. And he probably took up a hell of a damn collection and investors and all of that. Just like what they did during the time of slavery. They had all of these investors that was investing in slavery. Right. And they was even giving some of us away to each other. That was actually philanthropy, what they was doing. Giving us to, their close relatives as gifts. Okay, any more on the scripture?
Okay. And he laid hold on, it's like in Revelation chapter 20, verse 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
You know what? That same time is going to certainly come back again. When the Most High brings Esau down from this kingdom and all over the earth where he's at, they're going to be bound again. They're going back into the times of the Quest for Fire.
Right.
Anybody know about that movie, A Quest for Fire? The caveman movie? Where they was in the, grunting and, and they were eating like, as a matter of fact, I want to go into the scripture what time they're going to go back to. Let's go to Job. Let the Bible talk on that. Job, I think it's, let me see.
Job 9:24. The earth is given to the end of the wicked.
No, this one goes a little more into detail. I ain't read over the scripture in a while. Job 30. Job 30. Let's go to Job 30 and 1.
Okay. Job chapter 30, verse 1. But now they that are younger than I.
What does it mean, they that are younger than I? Anybody know? Because Job is a prophet here. It's not just talking about his personal life. This is talking about the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
I was gonna say either is it standing on a national platform, like as far as nations, or is he talking about the prophets that came before?
No, this is talking about nations right here.
No.
And you can also go into the prophets. This stuff is manifold.
Right.
Because they was driven into a situation like that right after King David tore them off. And they had to reemerge as Greece. For a long time, they couldn't build up or nothing. Because King David put such a bad hurting on them. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Remember the time when they when King David was at war with the Philistines? And the Amalekites robbed the cities of Judah and the cities of the Philistines and had all of their wealth, and they were spread on the earth like sands of the sea. King David came through with 400 dudes, and they said they smoked them until the twilight.
Okay.
And only 400 men escaped. That's a lot of killing right there. You know what I'm saying? So they only 400 of them escaped on camels. They had to rebuild through 400 dudes. Man, and when you was a nation that was in the sands of the sea at first. That's some serious stuff right there. They took such a bad beating, a national beating, that they had to reemerge as Greece. They shook their name and all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they shook their name because Greece is Amalek. Now, I don't mean the country Greece. I don't want people to give me, the wrong, give me stuff on that. But that whole Grecian bloodline of people, regardless of whether they live in Greece or they live in America or they live in Britain or wherever the hell the damn case is. Right. And to this day, they are the richest people on the earth right now. And that royal seed of Agag is still flourishing. Corrupt until Christ puts an abrupt end to them.
Like it's Rothschild's.
That's Agag. Yeah, that's Agag.
Okay. Because I know the Rothschilds are one of the most richest.
That's Agag. On the earth. Them, the Cohens, the Astor family.
Yeah.
All of those families that they got. That's Agag.
Agag. Okay.
And the others, that are not as wealthy, the Jewish lawyers and all of them, that's regular Amalek. Agag is the seed royal. Agag is to Amalek what the house of David is to the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? He's their king.
I get it.
Go ahead.
Continue.
Yeah.
Slacky. Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision.
Can anybody take a crack at that? Just take a crack at it, anybody. They that are younger than I. Now remember, Jacob was the second born. Esau was the first born, right? But it says here, now they that are younger than I have me in derision, because the Most High calls Israel his firstborn. Anybody seen the scriptures where he says that? That's why he said, now they that are younger than I have me in derision. Job gets deep in this. He is real deep on this. Go ahead.
Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
Oh, the disdain to set with the dogs of my flock. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He's, the Malachites, I would have disdained to even set them with the dogs of my flock. Means get these damn people the hell away from them. These are the vilest people on the earth. And even today in the rich state, people still look at them with an eerie look. They damn near make your hair stand up. You know what I'm saying? And this is them on top. So imagine they're on the bottom. Good night. We're going to be looking at them. They're going to be telling tales about them. Little kids is going to be, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to get close to the mountain like there's a creepy tale or something. And then running and stuff like that. I just saw one of them. He was real hairy and he had lice he was scratching. I did. You lying? You ain't see one up there. I did. Go ahead.
That's like that was the end of that.
Verse 2.
Verse 2. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me?
It says, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me? Like, what the hell good are they for? And when we on the bottom, we make real good slaves because we make everybody rich. Now, you bring them down. When the Amalekites go down, nobody's going to want to have them as a slave. No one. That's why Hitler wanted to get rid of them. They're leeches and they suck the life out of every damn thing they touch. So that's why Job says here, yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. Now think about it. flashback to the Dark Ages. You know what I'm saying? With them being stuck up in the mountains and everything. Watch this. We go through the third verse. Run through it a bit.
Verse 3. For want and famine, they were solitary.
Whoa. Don't this sound like some history right here? Don't this sound like the 13th tribe? For want and famine, they were solitary. What does that mean, y'all? They were solitary.
They were alone.
Yes, all to themselves. They wasn't mingling among everybody and all of that like they able to do now. They had to be to themselves.
Yeah, right, exactly. The solitary means I know it's like done or existing alone.
Right.
So they were among themselves.
Right, exactly.
So now, I mean, I know it's different words in English already. But is there a better way to understand super roots for the meat?